Leaders of Nigeria's major opposition political parties have mounted a blistering attack on the Electoral Act 2026, describing it as anti-democratic and alleging that it was deliberately designed by the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) to manipulate the 2027 general elections. The opposition coalition said the amended law, recently passed by the National Assembly and assented to by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, poses a grave danger to Nigeria's democracy and could plunge the country into a political crisis if not urgently reviewed. The opposition leaders declared that they had resolved to stand shoulder to shoulder with Nigerians to resist what they termed obnoxious provisions of the new Electoral Act, insisting that its implementation could undermine transparency, weaken democratic institutions, and compromise the sanctity of the ballot. Joining us on the show to discuss the opposition's accusation that the National Assembly is making laws to favor the ruling party and also Section 70 of the Electoral Act as amended on parties to produce a register of their members to qualify them to contest primaries is Kenneth Okwonkwo, lawyer and human rights activist. He would also discuss the mandate by the president to the lawmakers to ensure the passage of a law for the creation of state police. Good morning, Mr. Okwonkwo. Great to have you today on the morning show.
Good morning, and good morning to the viewers that are joining us.
Excellent.
Well, good morning. Opposition parties complaining about...
Okay, good morning, Abati. Good morning, Rafai.
Good morning.
I just saw your beautiful faces now.
Thank you. Okay, opposition parties complaining about the electoral timetable and the regulations and guidelines, and also querying certain sections of the Electoral Act 2026. Now, is there any remedy? I've had some commentators say, oh, the Electoral Act 2026 should go back again to the National Assembly for it to be reviewed, particularly the contentious sections 70, 77, 84. Is that practicable? Is it not better for the political parties, rather than complaining about what has been done, which is a done deal already, to just join the process and start this party registration process? Because for that law to be amended, it has to go back to the National Assembly. Is that feasible?
Well, first of all, let me start with what the International Republican Institute and the National Democratic Institute said when they were part of the election observation mission in 2023 in Nigeria. When they saw the shenanigans and the perfidy that happened in 2023, they came to the inevitable conclusion that going forward, it will require the collective effort of all Nigerians to combat disenchantment, address grievances, and restore faith in electoral democracy. So I would want to say that it should not be the duty of the opposition parties in Nigeria now to start addressing and interrogating what is happening, because grievances are mounting, disenchantment is growing, and the faith in our electoral democracy is dimming and diminishing. We have to be very careful, because we just heard about queues, started as rumors of queues, and they told us queue. So the disenchantment is real. It's not the duty of the opposition parties alone. During the military regime, the activists were the ones who actually fought the military. We all have to come together if we don't want to go the way of Somalia, because APC is now trying to use the instrumentality of the institutions to rig election even before they happen. If you say, what is impossible about it? Before going to the recess in December, the National Assembly came to the conclusion that mandatory electronic transmission is guaranteed. They all agreed. When they came back, just because of a call from Tinubu, within 1 week, they dismantled it. Within 1 week, they brought in all these very demonic sections to subvert democracy. Within 1 week, they overhauled everything and changed everything for the worse. So everything can be done if the will is there. Within 1 week, it can be done. Dr. Abati, you recall, when Umaru Yar'Adua took ill and Section 145 nearly collapsed Nigeria, and I'm talking about constitution, in order to save this country, within 1 month, the constitution for the first time in Nigeria was amended. So there is nothing that is impossible. I'm talking about Section 145 then. So there is nothing that is even very, very difficult to amend in the constitution, if only they will hear the voice of reason to address grievances. Yes, the opposition parties, they are grieved because democracy is in danger. How can you, less than 2 months, you are telling the opposition people they have to provide digitalized membership register? That is in Section 77, and I will analyze it for you, break it down, for you to know the mischief that is happening. The whole idea of amendment of laws is to cure mischiefs. But the amendment of laws under APC is to create mischief. That is why Nigeria is mischievously going down the drain. Section 77 said that, of course, political parties are body corporates with perpetual succession and with a common seal that can sue and be sued in its own name. So the legal personality of political party is guaranteed. And then they should maintain a digital register that will contain the name, addresses, all local government polling units, and even the NIN, the national identification number of the members. And then this register is the one you must use. You can't use any other register for your primaries. And 21 days to the time that you want to do your primary, you must submit it to INEC. And anybody whose name is not written in the register cannot vote or be voted for. So all these things are to cage in the political parties, and they said any political party that does not submit that register is not eligible to field candidates. So you can see the booby traps. And of course, they are doing it also for self-preservation, because they know that APC will implode. So to make it impossible that whoever is shortchanged by their dubious direct primary choice, which they are imposing on all the parties, cannot go to any other party to seek relief or to seek election. This is all the things they are doing for self-preservation and to emasculate and strangle the opposition. Of course, you know they will fail. But what I'm saying is that we are tilting towards anarchy, and you can see what is happening. FCT municipal election, for instance, was organized under an unknown law, a law that was promulgated 3 days before the time. No movement was restricted, 24 hours almost before the election. Okay. So you don't even know what you are doing. You don't even know the law. Okay. Now again, they are bringing this Electoral Act and all the invidious amendments before an election, not up to 6 months, according to the requirements of international standard. Okay. In the supplementary protocol of democracy and governance of ECOWAS.
Okay, Mr. Okwonkwo, thank you so much for that. So I want to ask you a question around, because I remember when there was a statement released by some opposition members coming out together against the Electoral Act of 2026. The question we asked on this table was, why now? Why has it taken this long? And to what extent would this letter or this statement of the fact that you are not in alignment with the new Electoral Act, to what extent would it affect what is already on ground now? Rather, shouldn't the opposition parties find a way to work together and sort out some of the internal challenges that are preventing them, from actively taking part in Nigeria's democracy today? And so I want to pose that question to you. The act has been passed. Senator Okwonkwo Bamidele, the Senate leader, had said that, there was wide consultation done before, the National Assembly passed this law. So why now, and what would be achieved based on this, bearing in mind the limited time to election season? Should there not be other things that should be priority currently? Then, you talk about mischief, where your representatives not there at the National Assembly when the laws were being passed, and then you talk about digital membership. Are you saying that your political party does not have a digital membership register for its parties? Does the law have to compel you to do that? Shouldn't that be normal procedure?
Well, you know, according to Dresden James, he said, when a well-packaged web of lies is sold gradually to the masses over generations, truth will seem preposterous and the speaker a raving lunatic. APC has told so much lies that if Nigerians are not careful, they will begin to believe their lies because it is sold to them over generations. Do you know, when you're talking about opposition, please give some credit to the opposition that we are even proactively attacking an electoral law which has not even been gazetted. APC has not even publicly published this law. We struggle to even get information. When you say, why now? Let me remind you, my dear Ayo, that it was not what was agreed to be passed before going on recess, which was by the unanimous consensus of everybody, including the opposition, including the APC, that was later on passed. And all these things happened within 1 week. And the APC has almost 2/3 of the National Assembly. Did you not see the bravery of the opposition members led by Senator Engineer Baribe? Did you not see the bravery of the members of the House of Representatives? The opposition member, was it not Abdul Samad, Honorable Abdul Samad, that brave young man, that alerted Nigeria about the forged tax law? Did you not see how the opposition even walked out, crying APC, ole, 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 buruku? And they were actually echoing what Senator Ndume called his own party, kleptomaniacs. Kleptomaniac is somebody that's a desperate thief. Ole buruku, abibeko. So the issue here is that we are in a regime that is both stealing and both lying by their own account, not me. Senator Ndume described them as kleptomaniacs and kleptocrats, as kakistocrats, the government by the worst of us and the government of desperate thieves. So the issue here is that opposition is doing their best. You are saying, where were we? We were here. We agreed. We were simply defrauded because all of us saw within 1 week, Senator Akpabio destroyed all they came up with after he received a call from Tinubu and said, we are going back to the 22 Electoral Act. Everybody saw it. And then it was the opposition's resistance and Nigerians supporting that made them to even say, okay, they will do the electronic transmission with a proviso. So we are doing our best. They will come to tell you, where is opposition? Lies. They will come to tell you, we do not provide alternative. Lies. Tell me one policy, and I will tell you the position of the opposition in it and the constructive alternative we have provided.
Yes, Mr. Konko,
so what I want to let you know
very quickly, that Mr. Konko, I want you to respond to that question on digital membership.
Proceed.
And if that shouldn't have been your process anyway, should the law compel you to have digital membership? What is your resistance to that? Why don't you want that option?
No, our resistance is not in digitalizing. Our resistance is in the time available to do that. We want electronic everything in Nigeria. But you can't come 1 month to when we want to do something and you're telling us we must do it or we'll lose our eligibility to contest. APC that could not. Now, the David Ledmark NWC, for instance, we were just admitted September 10th into the portal of INEC. And then we started arranging our parties. APC started their own last year. It has been a party existing from 2013. So what we are asking for is time to do what we should do. We are not afraid of anything electronic. It is APC that is afraid of even electronic transmission of result. They that are saying that INEC will not have network, they are now saying we should digitalize within 1 month.
Okay, Mr. Okwonkwo, you know me, I fear nobody, and I'll tell you the way it is. Rufai Oseni, called the opposition ADC.
That's why they are saying you're a lunatic, because you are saying the truth.
A coalition of jokers. I called you guys a coalition of jokers, and I'll tell you why. Yes, you were correct on the score where you said that you people campaigned effectively, you showed dissent in the House. But also, I think Dr. Bati kept on using that word, red herring. The transmission became a red herring that the things like this one, Section 84 that you're not talking about, the lawmakers didn't focus on it. And they stylishly slotted that in. While you people were busy chasing the Section 60, 84 was slotted in, but the lawmakers didn't even quickly read for interpretation, and they quickly passed it, so they knew what they did. And that's why I keep saying, does the opposition as we speak today even have a research department that analyze, psychoanalyze, future analyze, scenario plans every policy and every move of the ruling party? If, for what it's worth, 2015, I was in the thick of it, I was on radio then, APC did a better job being in opposition. But I don't see that from a lot of you guys in the ADC. And that's why I say you guys are a coalition of, and that's why when you came 8 days after, I said, what are you people saying here? Because people were so focused on Section 60 that they put this and embedded other things. See, I want to tell you this. It is only Section 84 you are seeing. Do you even know the other things they've put that you don't know that they've signed into the law as we speak today? Do you know many other sections? That's my point. That's my position. And that's why a lot of people say these people are jokers. It's only Section 84 because we've seen that now. Do you know other things that are there? I would like you to respond to this point I made.
All right. All right. First of all, you're entitled to your own opinion, and I respect it. It is just like my saying that the journalists who are actually supposed to be the watchdog, that they are operating on the realm of intellectual fraud. Because you ought to be doing your investigative journalism, and you ought to be telling Nigerians what actually ought to be in the law. I just told you that APC could not even publish even the law they have passed. You were there when even after they made a law in Nigeria, they went and forged in other things and brought it to Nigerians. And yet you're saying that the people that are confronting them are jokers.
And it was us,
if
the journalists,
would allow me
that
to
revealed that with Dansuki, the same journalist you are blaming. I was the one that took that document with Dansuki.
Hold on.
And put it up for you people to see.
I am not blaming you. We are not jokers. It is intellectually fraudulent for you to say we are jokers. I want to tell you, and I mean it sincerely, that the journalists have not lived up, the modern journalists have not lived up to the expectation of Nigerians. If you recall, journalists fought the military, fought them, and now even civilian regime, you are telling me about our big jokers. Now, let me even tell you that you are saying that what have they done? I want you to know that when you have the majority in the National Assembly, the minority can only have their say, except you're saying that we should use gun and go and shoot everybody there. You will still be the person that will say, no, we have exceeded our boundary. So the majority will have their way, the minority will have their say, and they are having their say. All the things you said we are embedded, if they were not even published for argument, I told you they settled on particular provisions before coming back from recess. And when they came back from recess, it was different thing altogether. And the opposition still labored. They shut down the opposition. The committees, the two committees, harmonization, could not even meet. And so, and you're saying they are jokers? No. That's intellectually fraudulent.
Okay.
So
I don't know whether
the question I would then ask, yes, Are you saying that journalists
Yes.
should do opposition
Don't
work for you? Because that's the role of the
That's what you're
opposition.
saying.
You cannot.
No,
You
no,
cannot
no, no, no,
designate
no.
or delegate your
No, we
responsibility.
are doing our work. We are doing our work. You're not doing your work. If you say we are jokers, while we're doing our
with
work,
due respect, Mr.
then-
Kenneth Okwonkwo,
Okay, Kenneth.
no. That statement is
Mr.
yes,
Mr.
that
Kenneth
statement
Okwonkwo,
is
Mr.
like I
Kenneth
said,
Okwonkwo.
is intellectually fraudulent.
Mr. Kenneth
Yes.
Okwonkwo, the statement is not
Yes.
intellectually fraudulent. You see, it's a
Yes.
shame on the ADC.
Yeah, very, very.
That you
because you
came
can't say
here-
jokers
that you
on
came
people that
here-
are fighting day and night.
That you came here
Yes.
to abdicate your responsibility as opposition and put it on journalists. And I'm happy you talked about the tax law.
Well,
This was us, the journalists,
Yes.
on this table that worked, got the details from Tansuki, put out all the arguments, kept on saying it. The fact that your party knows and there was a forgery about the tax law today is because us here, I don't like to take credit for things, but I know the work I did on that tax law. Even till today, the lawyers that took
After
that
the
case
opposition
to
has
court,
exposed it in the House.
that took that case to court, they worked with a team of journalists. But your political party, the ADC, has not taken any case to court. You have not been
Yes.
proactive. You have not, and you are now abdicating your responsibility to us journalists to do your work for you.
Okay.
Talk
what
about
you
that
are
one,
saying
Okwonkwo.
is absolutely not correct.
Kenneth
Absolutely
Okwonkwo.
not correct.
Please,
Yes.
let's not turn this conversation
Yes.
into a shouting match. It doesn't look good on television, in my opinion.
Oh yes, it's
But let me ask
you know,
you. Let me ask you. You
Very
were
good.
quoted recently as saying that the elections in the 6 area councils in the Federal Capital Territory are invalid.
Yes.
Because those elections were conducted under an unknown law. The law that is known to us, the enabling law now, is the Electoral Act 2026, publicly debated and processed, according to the process of law. Now, why do you say that election is unknown to law? Why have you not gone to court to challenge it if you consider those elections illegal and invalid, null and void?
Very good. And that is why it is good for you to read between the lines and pay attention when somebody is talking. I did not say it's unknown to law. I said it's on an unknown law, meaning it has not been publicly published. One principle of rule of law is that before you start implementing and enforcing any law on a people, you must make them to know what the law is. Otherwise, it will not bring orderliness in the society. So I said unknown law. It is a law that the people have not known. I didn't say it is not known to law. I even pointed out that it is legal, but is unknown to the people. And it is against rule of law to enforce a law on a people you have not publicly published. So what you said is out of order.
No,
and did not represent what I said.
Okay, if you say the law has not been officially gazetted, now just making a comment like that.
Yes, that's what I said.
Yeah, just wait. Have
Yes.
you made the attempt to find out, there is FOI, Freedom of Information obligations, to ask for that official gazette? Have you gone to the government printer to find out if already it's been published? What is the source of your allegation that the Electoral Act 2026 is unknown?
Well, because I said, remember, I said as at the time the election was conducted. Because
make an effort
it was
to find out.
Signed on the Wednesday. Of course, you should know, of course. Now, it was signed on a Wednesday. Thursday is the only working day. Friday, broadcasts are shut down because for political parties or anything you have to say, 24 hours before the election. And then Saturday, restriction was imposed almost 24 hours before the time. So within 24 hours on Thursday, it couldn't have been gazetted. Moreover, gazetting means making it public. Have you seen any copy? I have asked. I have inquired. Of course, the election is come and gone. So it is not a law known to Nigerians, but it's a law known to the law.
Hold on.
So
you say it's not being published. Will electronic publication, because copies were immediately made available through electronic channels, WhatsApp and other channels, will that amount to publication?
Well, I want to tell you that I have a copy of what you may be saying. It is not the gazetted copy of the government that I have. It is the one that the National Assembly passed as in their votes and procedure, but not in the gazetted copy of the government. If you have seen any, I would like to have one.
Well, thank you so
because
very
until
much.
it is gazetted, you can't say it's published.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okwonkwo. We look forward to the next line of action from the opposition parties, and we support the opposition party because for democracy to thrive, we must have vibrant opposition, and that's what we do here on The Morning Show. Thank you so much for your time with us this morning, Mr. Okwonkwo. Time for a short break now. When we return,